The Skeleton Who Wanted a Job, a spooky, silly, and heartwarming story for children and families. In the quiet, ordinary town of Humbleton, where the birds chirped on time and the mailboxes were all painted cheerful colors, there lived a very extraordinary resident. His name was Stanley, and Stanley was a skeleton. Not the kind you see in a doctor's office, or in Halloween decorations, or on pirate flags. No, Stanley was a walking, talking, thinking skeleton who wore a velvet jacket, a red bow tie, and polished his bones daily until they gleamed like moonlight. Stanley hadn't always been like this. He'd been buried peacefully in the town cemetery for over 200 years. But one fateful Halloween night, a bolt of lightning struck his tombstone at the exact same moment a kid spilled pumpkin soda during a prank gone wrong. The magic of the moment, mixed with the mystery of the storm, jolted him awake. Stanley sat up, blinked his empty eye sockets, and said, "Oh, that was quite a nap." Stanley wandered into town and quickly realized that the world had changed. No more horse-drawn carriages, no powdered wigs. People were now glued to little glowing rectangles and drank coffee from cardboard cups. At first, he stayed hidden. He found a quiet crypt beneath the willow trees and made it his home. He hung fairy lights, lined the walls with books, and set up an old piano he found at the dump. But over time, Stanley grew restless. He watched people walk by every morning in suits, uniforms, or aprons. He saw them going to work, helping one another, living their lives. He sighed, one hand on his ribcage. "I want a job," he said one morning. "A real one. I want to be normal." So Stanley wrote a resume on parchment paper using a quill pen. It listed his skills: undead charisma, excellent posture, good with small animals except cats, and noted that he was a quick learner, especially for someone who's technically dead. Then he stepped out into the world. Job application number 1. The Humbleton Bakery. Stanley opened the bakery door. A tiny bell jingled overhead. "I'm here to apply for the baking position," he said politely. "I'm very tidy, and I never sneeze in the dough." The baker turned, saw him, and screamed. A loaf of sourdough hit Stanley in the skull. "Get out, you monster!" she shouted, chasing him with a baguette. He ducked out, brushing flour off his jacket. "Well," he sighed, "not everyone likes my bones." Job application number 2. Perfect Pets. Stanley tried the pet shop next. "I adore animals," he told the manager. "Dogs especially. We have so much in common." But the moment he stepped inside, a parrot shrieked, "Bone man! Bone man!" and 3 poodles fainted in unison. Stanley slowly backed out. Job application number 3. The Humbleton Movie Theater. He offered to be a projectionist there, didn't mind the dark, and he didn't need breaks. But when the manager saw him, she dropped her popcorn tub and hid under the snack counter. Stanley left another sticky note. "Maybe next time." Rejection after rejection followed. The florist screamed. The dentist fainted. A hair salon owner threw a curling iron at him. By the end of the week, Stanley sat in the cemetery with his skull in his hands. "Maybe I'll never be accepted," he whispered. But then, a small voice spoke. "Are you okay, Mr. Skeleton?" Stanley looked up. A girl with curly hair, purple glasses, and a huge backpack stood in front of him. She was holding a drawing of a skeleton playing a piano. "Did you draw that?" he asked. "Yup," she said. "That's you. I saw you trying to get a job. People are mean, but I think you're awesome." Stanley blinked. "You're not afraid of me?" "No way. You're way nicer than Mr. Binks, my piano teacher. He smells like pickles and yells a lot." Stanley chuckled. "Well, I do play piano." The next morning, the girl whose name was Lucy took Stanley to the Humbleton Music School. She told the director about how kind he was, how gentle, and how good he was with music. The director frowned. "We don't normally hire skeletons." "Just let him play," Lucy said. Stanley sat at the piano and played "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," then a Mozart sonata, then the SpongeBob theme song, just for fun. His bony fingers danced over the keys like magic. When he was done, the room was silent until the director clapped. "You," he said, "are hired." Stanley becomes a star. From that day on, Stanley became the most popular piano teacher in Humbleton. He taught kids not just music, but confidence, patience, and how to believe in themselves. He decorated his classroom with posters of musical skeletons and hung up a sign. No judgment, just jams. People who used to scream now brought him cookies, which he politely accepted, even if he couldn't eat them. The mayor gave him a Community Hero Award. And Lucy, she never missed a lesson. Every Halloween, Stanley hosted a concert in the town square with his student band. The Bone Notes. Families came from miles around to hear them play. And for the first time in his afterlife, Stanley didn't feel like something strange or scary. He felt normal. He felt happy. Moral of the story: everyone deserves a chance to shine, even if they creak a little when they walk. Subscribe my channel and comment below your ideas about story.